where I can't say what I want to say, I can't be who I want to be, I gotta wear this mask on my face. Literally, it's like a manifestation of what's going on the inside. Now it's projected on the outside. Well, guess what? What happened to the ability to listen? You know? One of the biggest strengths I've ever had, and if anybody knows me and anybody knows anything about me, is that I've probably listened to you very intently. And the reason I do that is because, first of all, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. That's just like an anatomical kind of like obvious fact that you have 2 ears for a reason, because you're supposed to be doing more listening, less talking. That's one thing. And secondly, when you listen, you learn, right? And most people want to talk. Like right now, I'm doing a lot of talking, and I'm telling you, it's not easy to go and just say your perspective, because my perspective changes literally every single week, bro, girl, whatever. My perspective is changing constantly, and my ideas are changing constantly. But what doesn't change is this like certain principles. Like for example, listening, like intently listening to somebody. When was the last time you know somebody that's so ignorant that you think is ignorant? When was the last time you've seen them listen and really like not just wait until they say something to you, wait until they come up with what they're going to say next, but they're actually listening to you and then they actually respond to what you're saying. And that's one skill that's I'm like, yo, what happened to that ability? What happened to integrity? What happened to that? What happened to confidence, like true confidence? Yo, I've had people in my life that have told me their whole lives that they're confident, that they're this, they're strong, nobody's ever gonna shake their faith. Now I see them like following everything that they're told, like everything they're told, not even questioning an ounce, not even a second. Okay, everything they're told, yeah, I'll follow it. Yeah, sure, whatever it is, because they lost that internal compass, that compass of morality. I always ask why, right? Why everything? Why do I have to do that? Why I gotta get up in the morning? Why do I have to go to school? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to listen like that? Why do I have to have faith like that? Why do I have to pray like this? Why do I have to do that? Why? Now we're living in and I've done a great job as to finding those whys, and it led me into some amazing things. I got this book right here called Simon Sinek's Start With Why. Phenomenal book. I haven't read it all, obviously. I only read a few chapters. But if you're looking for, diving into the whys, super, super important. But without that knowledge, without that keen ability to ask why, you're not going to get a deeper level into things. And without the why, all you're going to focus on is the what or the who's. How many people do you know talk about people, right? That's just like, to me, I learned this like 10 years ago, but the smallest minds of our world, the smallest minds really talk about people all the time. And you notice that's what gossip is. That's what reality TV show is. A lot of our social media is just people talking about people, man. And the average minds talk about events. Oh, what happened with the protests? What happened with this? What happened with doctors here? What happens with what's happening with COVID? What's happening with all this stuff? Oh, those are the average minds. Now, the transcendent minds, the minds that are genius, the minds that are like the great minds, the creators, the inventors, the geniuses of our society, like I said, they think about ideas. They think about concepts. They think about things that are on a different level. That idea mindset, if you're watching this, you're probably one of those people. Now I'm telling you, those are the Da Vinci's of our time. Those are the ones that actually make the change. This video I'm making to make a call for those individuals. I'm looking for more artists. Right now, it's our time. Right now, it's the artist's turn. Right now, it's the people that are willing to have the conversation, that are able to articulate their words. We need more people that are able to communicate on a level. I'm speaking off the dome. There's no script right now. I'm speaking off the dome, and I can do this all day. Why? Because I did the work. Because I have this ability to ask why. And to ask the tough questions, like the real tough questions, because I wasn't afraid, man. I wasn't afraid to find out what that God might not have been in the prayers that I was looking at, or it might not, or I wasn't afraid to dive into certain psychedelics, because I was like, yo, I really need to dive into these things more, because I want to have deeper faith. I want to have deeper truths. I want to have more understandings, and to have more understandings, you have to create more patterns of understanding. To create more patterns of understanding, you have to have more references. Having more references means you have to get outside of your bubble, get outside of your box, and really shift your ideas and learn. How many people in my life don't even read a book? I don't read every single day, but I read enough to take what I need and move on with it. Right now I'm reading this book on Taoism, the leadership of Taoism. I'm like, bruh, it's like if the Islamic people in my life learned about some of the things that I'm learning about with the Tao, I'm like, yo, they have the same thing to say. These prophets over here lived like these Taoists over here. Yeah, they don't live exactly the same, I get that, but they have the same principles of integrity and honor and doing the good path and understanding the darkness, but manifesting the light. It's like, bruh, we are all these things, okay? So, going off. And one thing I want to say, another thing about that is that if you're still watching this video, you are one of those people that we need. The world needs more articulate people. And if you want to be more articulate, learn language, read books that articulate your that. And if you want that, I can give you references, just shoot me a message. But there are so many people that do incredibly in terms of linguistics and have a great way of talking. And I think reading really helps you with talking and elaborating your words. But there's a level of like confidence that comes from deep layers of self-analysis. And that's what I've done, deep levels of self-analysis. And that's through isolation. You guys think that what I'm doing right now is easy. It's simple, but it ain't easy because I spent years and years and years just digging away at this person and just chipping away at this ego so that I wasn't so egotistical. If y'all know me around when I was in high school, I was just trying to figure out who I was. But when I got to university, I was like judging people around me because they didn't have the same faith as me or they didn't have the same practices as me. I was like, oh. But then I slowly realized that these people were like, yo, what's wrong with you, man? Like you can't even have a conversation with us? Like, what's wrong? So I was like, man, I'm getting my own way. I'm getting my own way of education because I just have such rigid thinking. So I had to get rid of that rigid thinking. And then when you get rid of that rigid thinking, you start dying as like your person who you believe you are starts dying. And in my opinion, if you ask me, and I know this is true for myself, that's essential. Your level of inner world where what you believe you are has to die. There's a certain level of that has to die. Just like, for example, what's going on with the world. We think that right now, all my 20s, I thought, be yourself, right? Be yourself. Everybody keeps telling me to be yourself. Be you, do you, be you. Like, okay, I get that. I lived like that for a long time. But what if being yourself is the problem? But the real message here is what happened to us? What happened to communicating? What happened to coming together? What makes a human? Does it make it human to just sit at home and like just read books? So it's all we can do right now. I get that, and that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm lucky that I have somebody that I live with that I can actually do that with. But if you don't, you got to find podcasts. You got to find people that you like listening to. You know. So right now is a time for the creatives and the people that can have conversations, the people that can be honest. And if you have been quiet and shy, is that I've been shy my whole early 20 years. And you might see, maybe I was in musicals and I was the captain of this team, or I was always like out there because at home I was the shy guy. At home I was very quiet. Nobody knew me at home for the dancer, the singer, the extroverted person. Absolutely not. When I was at home I was introverted. So when I got to school, I just loved being that other version. But then I was that other version. I didn't have to always be that. I could just go home and then be an introvert again. So I could live those two lives. And eventually I got to a point where I was like, bro, I just want to be me. I don't want to be introverted or extroverted. I want to have moments of introverted and moments of extrovert, right? But if you knew me in my 20s, you probably see me maybe as the extrovert. Maybe I was good at the personal training side. Maybe I was good at this. Maybe I was a good communicator. Well, those years came from my years of introversion. And if right now you're introverted and you're insecure and you're depressed, guess what? You are a bow and arrow, okay? You can pull that back, and the more you pull back, the more books you read, the more you try, the more seminars you take yourself through, the more weekend classes, weekend courses of I'm not talking about self-help. I'm talking about like finding why you feel that way. Why that inner soul, why that inner spirit is not happy with how you're living your life. That's what depression is. Right now is the time for the people that have been introverted for so long, the depressed individuals. Well, guess what? On the inside, we don't have to feel that no more because the whole outside world is like that. But on the inside, we can be different because we've been feeling this whole thing our whole lives. I feel like I've been feeling COVID my whole life on the inside. Where I can't say what I want to say, I can't be who I want to be, I gotta wear this mask on my face. Literally, it's like a manifestation of what's going on the inside. Now it's projected on the outside. Well, guess what? Now I feel like I'm in my element, okay? Now, I don't love it. I absolutely don't. That's why I'm making these videos. That's why I keep pushing myself to do this. That's why Andrea keeps pushing me to do these things, because I know that this is my only form. This is what I've been working for my whole life to get to this point where I can just shoot the information at you without filters, without even opening this book once. And this book here is just a bunch of poetry, information, knowledge. Real quick before we go, I'll show you that. All right, some of these things, bro. I've done so much research on sacred geometry to find out what you are and who you are. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like when you really dive into knowledge, like I thought the people around me that had a good grasp of what's going on. I'm telling you, there's so much out there, and how the pyramids are built, where the universe even comes from, how it emanates, what vibration is, everything, bro. I can go through this book and spend hours and hours and hours just talking about this stuff, and this stuff empowers me. So I've always looked for things that empower me. Things that don't empower me, I just try not to, I learned about them because I tried to learn, hey, what are the things that are, why is this disempowering for me? That's important too, but you have to find out that, if you're ingesting information that doesn't make you feel good and it makes you feel insecure, whether it's social media stuff, whether it's scrolling, whether it's videos, whether it's certain games that put you in a level of fear, understand that you're an energetic being. Okay, so an energetic being needs a certain feedingness of that energy. So you need to find that correlation between what you're feeding yourself and what you are and what you want to be, and align those things, right? So how did I get to a level of introvert? How did I get to a level of extroversion from where I was in the introverted side? Now, that addictive pursuit, it's an addictive pursuit. It's a 100% addictive conscious pursuit, just like Kobe Bryant. I love the man. That's why I keep referencing him. He was obsessed and addicted, and he would just sleep with his basketball. He would dribble his basketball till he fell asleep at night. That's how he fell asleep. That's what he did to go to bed, was to dribble his basketball and fall asleep while his buddies were partying. What I was doing when my buddies were partying, I was trying to find out how I can express myself. That's what you got to do. That's literally what you have to do. So what does that mean? Oh, I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to do painting. It doesn't matter. I found different certain ways. And these psychedelics that really helped me go into these levels of expression, whether it was artistic expression, whether it was drawing, it was painting. I started getting into oil painting. I'll show you some of those soon. Phenomenal stuff. I love it. I don't care what people like. It was just, for me, it was fun doing it. So the more I started doing things like that, poetry, the more I started writing things down, the more I started, I never wrote things down in my 20s. I never had a diary or a journal. I thought those things were ridiculous growing up. But then I started writing them down, and it became like my addiction. Like, you want to see how much writing and poetry I do, and drawing, and it's just super, super. My girlfriend is one of the best poets I've ever met in my life. And when she starts putting her poetry out there, it's going to help a lot more people than I can even imagine. But what I'm saying is, the way out of that introversion, if you even want to get out of this, some people love it, right? But if you want to have the other side of it, just like I was talking about earlier, you need to have that level of extroversion, the ability to be extroverted. It helps you a lot in life, but also understanding that you can be introverted to kind of recharge your batteries. So what did I do? I learned how to paint. I learned how to I started dancing in front of people more, which is something that I never did growing up at all because I was so super afraid of it. I started singing in front of people, instead of just singing in general. I just love singing. It's one of my passions. One of the things I just love doing. I don't care about being good at it. I just love doing it. So I started doing it more. And certain substances helped me with that. Smoking cannabis. Cannabis was like this unbelievable level of expression for me. I don't recommend it for everybody. Absolutely not. I don't recommend anybody to do anything that you haven't done research in. Because, by the way, I did my research into these things. That's the only reason why I did them. And I had people around me, good mentors, that were also doing those things. And they helped me get through that stuff too. I definitely think you should do your research and consult somebody that's done it for long periods of time and is super successful, or wherever you see them as in that field. As long as they're that and you want to follow them, do that, go ahead. But learn that whoever you follow, remember that you also want to be a leader one day. So you're only following to get to a point where you can lead, and that's where you should be. I tried to become the best leader I could possibly be. And I know right now is the time that we need more introverted people to start saying what they're saying, what they've been feeling for such a long time. And that is what's really going to help you, because keeping it bottled up, it's not going to work. Stagnant water, stagnant blood, that's literally my job. It's what I do. It's how I get rid of, pain for people, is I move stagnant blood in the body. And that's what we have to do, is we have to remove stagnation. And sometimes when we have thoughts that are stagnant, when we put them on a book, it feels better when we write that down. When I make a painting that's just like something that I express myself doing, it just looks so cool. It makes me feel like I'm creating something. I'm the creator, right? You can become the creator of your reality. I'm not talking about the hokey pokey stuff. I'm talking about literally you can create your reality, create the paintings on your wall, create the music you listen to, create self-expression through dancing, movement, like expression, just getting addicted to the idea of self-expression. And once you become self-expressive, you can express yourself. Like I'm expressing myself right now. I'm just being raw 100%. And I'm not swearing as much as I probably usually do, but that's just because I respect everybody that's watching this. But maybe one day I will start just swearing because I don't care. Like I just want to be honest about it. And I hope that this message is being received at a level of like, humbleness. And I'm not trying to say that I know things that you don't. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is I have a level of like, I don't care, and a level of truth that I want you to start having, because we need more truthful people. We need more creatives. We need more weirdos and lost people. And like, we need those people to start speaking up, because they're the ones that maybe their friends already see them as the weirdos. You know what I'm saying? Like people already see me as this guy. Jay's kind of Jimmy's kind of Jamil's kind of he's kind of out there. Great. I want you to think that. I don't want you to think that I'm like everybody else. I don't want you to think that I'm just following herds. I'm not that person. I don't want to live like that. No thanks. No thanks. So I'm going to live the way that I want to live, and I want you to live the way you want to live. And I'm telling you right now, when you get to that point, people will align themselves with that nature. People will start recognizing your truth and your level of honesty, and then they will start gravitating towards you. It might be hard at first because those people that you thought were there for you aren't really there, and you being yourself will expose them. And that's what we want. That's what you want. You want to be able to expose the people that are truly there for you. You want to expose the world for what it is. And that's what we're seeing right now. If you're worried about what's happening in the world right now, trust me, homeboy, trust me, homegirl. It's not going to be that way. The light will always seep through, always. The water will always find its way out the pot. Always, always, always. But just like water, right? It needs to find a different form, but it doesn't mean it's not going to, if you try to evaporate, water's going to turn into evaporation. You try to hold it in, you try to hold water, squeeze water, good luck. It's going to find a way out. You try to freeze it, no problem, it freezes. You try to melt it, no problem, it melts. Like, it's just like whatever. That's why I have this picture behind me. That's why I love the concept of being like water. So you guys, the weirdos, the lost, the depressed, they can't find a way out. There is a way out. You are the way out. You are the one thing that the world needs. I'm telling you, just dive into being obsessed with finding out how to express yourself. There's different tools. Don't be yourself, because that being yourself has not worked. Maybe it didn't work for me. When I stopped being myself and did things that were not in my nature, but they were still safe. Trust me, that's the direction that we got to go in, because on the other side of what you believe you are not is the person that maybe is waiting for you to become. You can become the person that you don't even know you exist yet, right? But I always knew that I was not who I am today. The reason I love my girlfriend so much is because I love who she is now, but also I know who she's going to become. And I love the person that she's going to become. I believe that's the right way to think of everybody. I know where they're going. I know who they are, who they strive to be. I see the greatness in them before they even see it in themselves, which allows me to communicate in a level of like, yo, this is not what, when I see them out of alignment, or I see them not doing the thing that I believe they can be doing, I'm like, bro, it's just not you, because you're so much better than that. Like, you don't need to be hanging out with these people, because you're on a different level than that. They're not serving you in the direction that you're trying to get to. You feel me? If you get anything from this, just know that I'm going to be there for you. And don't depend on anything, by the way. Don't depend on me. Don't depend on anybody online or any book or anything like that. Just you have yourself, and you have this innate ability to tap into the divine. The divine is within us. I don't care what you think. I don't care where you learned your stuff. Every text I've ever read about, every religious text or every spiritual guide has always told us that we have it right here. It's closer to us than our own arteries. I've read that in multiple texts. I can prove it to you. If you want to have that conversation, trust me, I got a 15-hour video for you on that if you really want. Okay? So whatever. So the point is, express yourself. Don't be afraid to challenge who you think you are. And at the end of the day, what happened to us? Hey, nothing. Nothing happened to us. We decide that. Okay? Don't let anybody decide what happened to us. We decide what happens to us. So go out there, find out how to express yourself, find out what that thing is that you've been putting off for so long, and go do it. Get your body right if you have to. Don't listen to media when they tell you your body can be whatever and you can do whatever and still be happy with it. That's just the media telling you some shit. Go get what makes you feel right. Go get your mind right. Go get your body right. Go get your spirit right. Your soul is something that you got to get right. And your soul is like a moral compass. And I'm telling you, the way I see the world right now, you cannot lie to an intuitive person. I'm very, very intuitive. And because I have that intuitive nature, I have a compass that I can rely on through every perspective. And honestly, if I don't have that perspective and I don't feel like I have the right perspective, I have people around me that I've put in my life, that I've made sure that these people stay in my life, that can give me the proper perspective. So we're in a war right now, folks. And whoever's listening to this, and if you watch to the end, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give you this last little bit, but we're in a war right now, and it's a spiritual battle. It really is. It's a conscious battle, and it's a mind battle, and it's testing us right now. It's your ability to be certain, but also to do other forms of research and to find out, different opinions, different perspectives. We need that more than ever right now, and we need more artistic people. We need more creatives. So we need that. I don't see anybody acting on those creative outlets, and the more I start seeing that, hey. Hit me up if you want that. I'm looking for some videographers. I'm looking for some people that want to be on a podcast. And if that's you, cool. If it's not, peace. But if you like my content, thank you for watching. Hit that likes button, that subscribe button, bell notifications, whatever. Thank you so much for trusting me. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have a blessed day. Go get it. Peace.